If you're looking for a way to kick those homemade caramel and candy apple treats up a notch, join me today as I add some gourmet touches that will transform them from old-fashioned to over-the-top delicious. Let's get started. Welcome back, sweet friends. I'm Christina, and thank you for watching. If you want to learn how to upgrade your everyday environments, make the ordinary extraordinary, or just sharing tips to improve your journey to peace, pleasure, and efficiency, start now by subscribing and hitting that bell. I upload new videos each Sunday, and I look forward to having you as part of our Sprinkled with Sparkle family.
If you gathered your apples at a local orchard, then you'll want to give them a nice rinse and dry. But if you purchased them at the grocery store, it's pretty likely they have had a coating of wax placed on them, and that wax will prevent your goodies from adhering to the apples, but you can easily remove it by adding 1 tablespoon of baking soda and a tablespoon of lemon juice to a few inches of boiling water. Just place your apples in the solution, rotating them after a few minutes so it will work on all sides, and then just use a scrubber, thoroughly go over the entire surface of each apple, and then dry them with the towel and remove any remaining stems. Next, you'll prepare your apples for dipping. You can order apple sticks from Amazon, use bamboo skewers, or go with my choice here, which were chopsticks. They're very sturdy and they hold up to all the delicious goodness that's going to surround each apple. While I've used a silicone baking mat for the dipped apples, you could certainly go with wax paper that's been well sprayed with a nonstick product like Pam. Just place the stick through the top where the stem used to be and push it approximately 3/4 of the way through the apple. To begin the s'mores apple, you're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter over medium heat. When it's completely melted, add in 1 bag of preferably miniature marshmallows. The smaller ones just seem to melt better with this small amount of butter, but use whatever size you have. You're looking to get it to this nice smooth and creamy texture for the next step. Carefully swirl each of your apples in the melted marshmallow. You're looking for a nice even coat here. Now, I chose to let a little of the top color show on my apples, but you could dip the entire thing if that's what you choose to do. I tried to have an even line around the top for a neater look. And once you're happy with the coating, just allow some of that excess to drip off before you transfer it over to your prepared pan, and continue up to 5 apples for this recipe. Once your apples are coated, move them to their fridge to set for approximately 15 minutes. I did 2 batches of these and 15 did really nice. For the next step, you'll need a bag of semi-sweet or milk chocolate chips and a 1/2 tablespoon of butter, as well as a shallow dish of some graham cracker crumbs. I used about a 1/2 cup here, and that generously covered all 5 apples. After you put them in a heat-safe dish, melt your chips and butter in the microwave in 30-second intervals, mixing well between each one until the chocolate is completely melted and smooth. And when you're ready to assemble, remove the marshmallow apples from the fridge and take an apple at a time off of the pan and place it into the chocolate. You want to be sure that you leave a nice ring of marshmallow around the top. It just makes it look really pretty. And it indicates to whoever's going to eat it kind of, what's inside or what they can expect the flavor to be. You have plenty of time before the chocolate begins to set, so take your time and get an even layer coating the apple and a nice line. I found rolling it in this fashion is a little bit easier to accomplish. Finally, roll the bottom third in a plate of graham cracker crumbs. And you may find that you have a stubborn one that sticks, and I found it helpful to use my kitchen shears to cut the marshmallow once I lifted it off the mat, and then pat any excess along the bottom with my hand to adhere it. When all your apples are dipped, allow them to sit until the chocolate is completely set before serving. Now for these pretty poison apples, you'll need 6 full squares of almond bark and a cup of cinnamon candies along with 2 tablespoons of water. We'll be working with the almond bark first, so just begin by warming it in the microwave and stirring it every 30 seconds until it has melted smooth. Spin each apple in the bark, and this time you want a more uneven texture. And I also covered the top of the apples this time. This melted bark should cover about 4 medium apples pretty generously. Once all your apples are covered and they've completely dry set, you can melt these cinnamon candies in water in about 30-second intervals between stirs in the microwave. Then you're ready for the fun. I just picked up a turkey baster at Dollar Tree, and once you suck up that mixture, you can allow it to ooze down on top of the apples, kind of pulling around at the stick and then dripping down the sides. The amount of candy blood's up to you, but you want to try and keep a drippy look. That stick sure did a job on that poor apple. As an aside, you could use 2 cups of candies and 4 tablespoons of water, melted, and dip entire apples for an easy take on a candied apple. They're delicious. Now we're starting with 1 bag of unwrapped caramels. You'll melt these with 1 tablespoon of water in the microwave just as the other candies and stir every 30 to 40 seconds until it's smooth. Then you're going to dip as before, ensuring an even coat over those apples. The caramel made enough for 4 medium apples. The package said 5, but you can see there wouldn't have been enough for a 5th one. I chose to make each of my 4 apples different, but all having the second layer as chocolate. I melted it as before, and once the caramel had set, I dipped them just as I had on the s'mores flavor. I chose to do one with walnuts, one with pecans, one with crushed pretzels, and then a 4th one with peanuts. You may want to try those combinations or any other combination of flavors. I think it would be really fun to have an evening or an afternoon where family and friends get together and just make their designer caramel apples personalized for them. Now once your chocolate is on, then you press the apple into the nuts. You may have to pat them into the chocolate a little to get a generous, even coating. Repeat this process for each of your apples. Now, as if they weren't already extra enough, I took my remaining chocolate and transferred it to a baggie and then did the same with some peanut butter chips melted just as the chocolate. Now this is going to put these apples over the top. I zipped up that bag and snipped a corner, and then I started adding chocolate drizzles to the pecan and to the walnut. Now I used the peanut butter chips on the peanut bottomed apple, and then I even sprinkled a few on top. I went all out on this pretzel bottom one and used both the chocolate and the peanut butter. Sweet friends, sweet treats. I'm so happy to share these ideas for your next gathering or to give away through the holiday season. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I hope I've inspired you to take an old-fashioned treat and make it your own with love and a sprinkle of sparkle.